Before we get into today's video, make sure you like and subscribe.
Alright guys, we are back for another Universal Tower Defense X video, and today we are going to be making a tier list over here for the best units in the game. So just going over the tiers real quick, we've got meta, sub-meta, okay mid-game, okay early game, unusable, and farms. Referring to the early game, mid-game, this is like player progression, not like state, like for example, like early games, like, you know, first 5 waves, and then mid games like first 10 waves. This is literally just like where you are in the game progression wise, and like maybe some units in here will be unusable, but like, you know, they're actually pretty good in these slots right here. We will not be rating like in between evolutions because that just seems kind of pointless. I think we got like the Drink Survivor right here, but we've got his evolved form here, and I think he has another evolved form as well. But we're only going to be rating like the final evolutions of a unit unless I deem it absolutely necessary that we rate something else. So starting off with farm units, because this is the most obvious slots by far. Bulma, and we got Speedwagon. That is quite literally it. Now obviously Bulma does go ahead of Speedwagon here. She literally just makes more money, but I think this is like generally a fair spot for both of them. Yeah, so here are the 2 farm units in the game. Obviously there's no wiggle room here, like there's no point putting these guys in other tiers, I don't think. They need to make more farm units, and I think they also need to make like possibly like a Bulma evolution or a Speedwagon evolution, just so you don't need to bring 2 farm units into every stage. But regardless, moving on, we're going to rate Super Gogeta next. This is not going to be in any particular order, it's just going to be what I think them in. Super Gogeta is a very, like, I mean, obviously he's, in my opinion, spoiler alert, I think this guy's just hard meta best unit in the game. The reason for this is it's mainly just his leader skill, to be honest with you. Fusion and Super Warrior, you're going to look at this list and you're just going to notice that a lot of these guys have Fusion or Super Warrior or both leader skills. This is just an insane leader skill, and the thing is, like, this is not going to age out. Dragon Ball is always going to be something that this game turns to, as with every tower defense game. Like when they need some players on the old player count, Dragon Ball is going to be what's put on there. So yeah, expect more Dragon Ball related stuff. Next up, we are going to be looking at Merciless God, or Goku Black, the universal unit right here. This guy is also exceptional. He's going straight up to the meta tier as well. I mean, these guys pair really well next to each other. This guy just gives so much CC availability. He just gives just incredible utility. You know, a 30-second time stop on his Zamasu form, just insane damage. Yeah, he's a very good unit. Next up, we might as well look at Vegito Blue. This is going to be like roughly tiered in terms of, like, you know, Gogeta's better than Vegito, and Vegito's better than Goku Black, etc. Vegito Blue is another unit that this guy just does insane damage, and also again he gets the 80% damage from the Gogeta leader skill. Guy does he has a lot of range, he does multiple follow-up attacks, which again combos really well with Gogeta. Just a very crazy unit. Next up, we're going to rank Gojo over here. This is a shiny variant, but it's the same unit. This guy is, like, I think borderline mandatory if you're doing the hard stages of the game. Maybe he's not as good in Infinite, but I still think this guy has a place in Infinite. Yeah, he's just an auto-include in basically anything. Like, he doesn't have, if we look at his tags right here, he's one of these units that doesn't actually have a leader skill currently, and that might change with this next update. I don't think so. But the thing is, this guy's value doesn't even come from his damage, it's just his it's just his CC ability, his domain expansion, time stop, and him dragging enemies right back to the start. It's just absolutely crazy. This guy has some incredible utility to him. Next up, we might as well look at Gohan. Where is he on this list? Blind? Oh yeah, he's boundless. Yeah, there you go. Beast Gohan is definitely, he unfortunately is kind of creeping into sub-meta. So this guy is, I mean, don't get me wrong, he is very good. It's just, he doesn't have like that special something that most of the other units in meta have. He's just a damage unit. Like, if we look at the list here, this guy is providing insane utility with his leader skill. He's cleansing debuffs, and he has, like, insane DPS. This guy is basically just a damage unit as well, but he's just doing such a level of damage that it doesn't really matter. This guy's providing insane utility. This guy's providing insane utility. This guy's just providing damage, but it's not quite as high as the other units. He does have the special beam cannon active skill, which happens every 2 minutes, which is very good. And once we get to the stage where, you know, we're going to these stages where we're getting like a lot of these base stocks being lost, he is going to be doing a whole lot of damage. I'm kind of tempted to put him in sub-meta because meta, in my opinion, is just like, on that team, you're bringing him every time. And I'm just not finding that I'm bringing Beast Gohan into every team I'm using. If it's like Dragon Ball orientated, like, I'm just not using him. I'm actually going to put him sub-meta for now, and we'll review it. I just don't think he's quite meta. We might as well look at just all the Dragon Ball units that I think we should be covering right now. Next up is these two. So we've got Super Saiyan 3 Goku. So these units are interesting. So they are a synchro gauge, or they like synchro fuse into Super Vegito. That unit does a lot of damage, but in my experience, sacrificing 2 slots to make one decent, like, good unit is not great. It's very expensive to do that. Certain stages, it's just not that good. From my experience anyway. Maybe I'm insane. And it's not like I don't have this like practically maxed out. This is like it has a ruler with double S and everything. It did have equips, I promise. Yeah, I'm not wholly convinced that, again, like, you know, if I'm making a Dragon Ball team, am I putting them in every team I'm making? Definitely not. Like, they're filling up a third of your slots. Don't think they're providing enough value for them to do that. I mean, okay, I'm talking bad on them. This is still sub-meta. Like, this is still, like, if you have this on your team, I'm not, like, looking at you, like, okay, like, where you're throwing. Like, you're still, like, these are still the best units in the game, right? Next up will be Janemba. Janemba is definitely on the lower end of sub-meta, unfortunately. This guy is really interesting, and I think he's actually really fun. Partially because I do just really like Janemba. He summons clones. He has bleed, does follow-ups, does slow on bosses, does pretty good active skill confusion in 4 seconds, 5-minute cooldown, can teleport to anywhere in the map. This sounds really good. This is just not very, like, with the way maps are orientated currently, this is not like a crazy ability or anything. Yeah, his rage form does give him some pretty relevant damage, and he is on the sword leader skill with triple threat. I'm just not finding myself, like, there's not really an excuse to put him on most of the teams. I think he's definitely... Next up we have Perfect Maximum Bio Android. This guy is sitting like somewhere around here. I'd probably be more leaning towards just putting him slightly below Gojo. This guy is also very, very good. You kind of do need to build a setup around him when you're sacrificing the Super Warrior unit. But what I really like about him personally is that he has the different modes that you can pick. Where is it? Here, so he has the normal form, doing extra damage to normal enemies. Air form, get Renegades hybrid. Hyper armor. This is a very premium one because so many bosses and enemies are hyper armor. So having extra damage against those are very good. And then 150% damage bosses. Like, this guy is very good in the Beast Rift event. He's definitely on the lower end of meta, but he's definitely still a very solid unit. Belmax is awful. He just doesn't do much. He's only kind of good because he supports this guy so much. I think it's like a 50% damage boost. Yeah, he gets 50% damage both units, minus 10% SPA, and plus 10% range. So, like, he's a very good support. So if you are using the Perfect Cell Max, like, it's a very good idea to bring this guy. He does a lot of stuff. It's just... he's just not very good. He's probably a little bit better than Janemba just because of the support he's giving one of the better units in the game. But on his own, this unit is, like, very underwhelming. Oh yeah, we've got the Drink Super Rage coming up. Let's pull them up. Alright, next up on the list is the Trunks Super Rage unit. Getting this guy from the Ultra Boss Goku Black stage. This guy does a lot of stuff. You can read through his passive. He's doing like a different wide variety of slow and damage over time and follow-up. The issue is this guy's numbers are horrifically low. I don't actually know where I really want to put this guy because I'd feel disingenuous to put him next to even like Janemba. But like, he's not okay mid-game because you're not getting this guy mid-game. And you're not getting this guy early game. And he's homeless. Like, you're not running him on the Dragon Ball team. And he's only getting one of the leader skills on the Dragon Ball team. I think he's unusable, gonna be like, this is not like, obviously he's better than whatever I'm gonna put in early game, mid game, just for the fact that, like, you know, he just has higher numbers than they do. But for the fact that he's actually, he's a late game unit, but all the late game units like absolutely mock him. In pretty much every aspect. But yeah, I'm pretty comfortable putting him on unusable. Don't get too upset about it if he's your favorite character. He's really cool to me as well. It's just unfortunately, yeah, he wasn't treated particularly well here. Next up, I do want to look at Phantom Captain over here. This unit is definitely aged out damage wise, but she is, if you get this unit from one of the summon banners, she is exceptional. So I'm gonna put her in okay mid game. Like, she's better than okay in mid game. Like, this unit will carry you in mid game. She does horrifically fall off late game, and she's like definitely not touching sub meta or meta. So she's very good mid game. Like, if you get this unit early game, you are going to be absolutely destroying most content. In the same vein, let's cover the next unit that's within one of these banners. It's like a really low chant, and that being some Jinwoo Shadow Monarch. I think this unit is actually horrifically underrated. I've used this guy quite a bit. He is on the triple threat leader skill, so he is on sword. For some reason, he's on the mining thing. I don't really know what that's all about. And he does provide support to the leveling tag, which is actually quite important for later on. I think this guy is sitting somewhere vaguely in here. I definitely can't jerk him off to meta somewhere, but we're probably putting him somewhere above or below Beast Gohan. I think I'm just going to put him about equal to Beast Gohan. This guy does some crazy damage, and not only does he do some crazy damage, and he does like a bunch of summons, he has really good unique equips. He does provide support to the leveling tag, right? As we can see, he has 30% damage support and minus 10% cost, and then he also does give bonus support to Shadow Knight. Yeah, he's just a very good unit. He's pretty cost efficient as well. Pretty good in infinites. Yeah, like a solid unit overall. We might as well cover the strongest in history next. And so here we go. The strongest in history right here. I think this guy is basically just worse Gojo. I feel like there's not much reason to be running this guy when you have Gojo. He does do some pretty cool stuff. He does do damage over time, circle AoE. He does mark. It does follow-up attacks, does bleed. Gets buffs based on like the amount of enemies that are there. He does do stuns, which is pretty cool with 26 marked enemies. I don't know how common that's going to be honest. There's not many stages. Like, if you're getting overwhelmed to that degree, you're probably in trouble. Yeah, I think, again, he does a lot of stuff. Don't get me wrong, this guy does a lot of stuff. I just don't think he's, like, again, it might be a numbers issue. I'm probably going to put this guy in like sub-meta. He's probably like around here. Maybe I'm disrespecting these two, but I haven't found value out of them particularly. This guy is insane. This guy is absolutely insane. His damage is really bad nowadays, but it's his multiple like slow, like his confusion. Confusing enemies for 4 seconds, doing multiple like slows. He does do damage over time as well. Also, his active skill removes all modifiers from the enemy's hit. This guy is actually a very, 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 very good unit. I would actually, he was on my like best team for a reason. I think this guy's hard meta. You can run this guy pretty much anywhere, and he will be just making your team better. So yeah, he's definitely going in meta. And let's go in the same vein as that. Let's put Nurse Father right here. Nurse Father is probably just slightly better than the Crow, but Nurse Father is, yeah, just an exceptional unit. And he's doing unique, like, increased amounts of damage against bosses. More damage to hyper armor, does damage over time, inflicts slow, can dodge and counter attacks, gets dodge, gives crit chance. Yeah, she's just very good. I think I kind of want to rate the One Piece units next. It's a little bit tricky to do this because the One Piece units are definitely very good. They're just unfortunately, like, I don't know if I can in good faith call them meta, because then, like, if you're running this team, like, you're running this entire team of units, right? So you're not running the Dragon Ball stuff, and I think the Dragon Ball stuff is just like the hard meta, and the One Piece is like the slightly less good team. So is it okay to put them in like sub-meta? I'm gonna put them in meta, but like, you know what I mean. They're all kind of roughly around, like these two are definitely roughly around the same parts as each other. Joyful Captain, when he's in his Gear 5 transformation, which is the path that you want to go in. This guy is doing some insane damage. He's doing insane damage. He's pretty cost effective. He's a hybrid unit. He's making the ground bouncy, which makes enemies take more damage, which is a really good support ability. Triple threat. He does have a very good leader skill to him. I think it's like sword and peace, isn't it? Yep, sword peace. He's doing a whole bunch of damage over time. I think he's also doing follow-up attacks. Yes, follow-up attacks. He's doing extra damage against bosses, gets extra crit rate against bosses, and he's reducing the stun from units in his range by 50% and 75% of Fair and Peace. That's very good because a lot of the hardest stages in the game have absurd stun times, especially the Beast Rift, so he's very good for that. So yeah, actually exceptional unit rather. Might as well get the next guy off the Slayer. So we got the King Sailor Unrivaled unit right here. This guy is also exceptionally good. Got some insane DPS to him. He does lead Magi, which is, I mean, this is not amazing, but uncontrollable power is where all the cell maxes are. And obviously we know how good the perfect cell max is. Doing chain lightning, so he's doing a bunch of damage. Has a 50% chance to ignore stuns and debuff. He has additional buffs when units are in his range. Specifically, I think he gets more he gets more buffs if they're in the sharing his tag. He's just doing a lot of damage, and his leader skill's good. So I'd say like he's probably on the bottom end of meta, but he's like definitely like he's in meta for sure. But next up we are going to look at Creator. It's a little bit cursed. This guy for the longest time I thought of as just like slightly worse or just about the same Vegito Blue, but way easier to get, and that's kind of what I define him as. He is on the leveling category, so he's with Sun Jin Woo, and you can run him with swords, so you can run triple threat as leader with Sun Jin Woo and Kriyasu. I'm just going to call him Kirito, and he does get damage support from that. I think this guy is actually very good. I just don't think I can in good conscience put him in meta. I don't think he's quite there, but I think I can see him being basically higher than everyone else here. He's just doing like too much damage, and he's very cheap. That is notable. This guy is like half the price of Vegito Blue to place down and fully upgrade. Very good unit. Next up we have Ulterior Oblivion. I probably butchered his name. I'm sorry. I'm not a Bleach guy, and then I don't know what his actual name is in the anime. But this guy does not currently have a leader skill, but do keep in mind this guy's placement is going to change probably quite soon, and probably quite viciously, just because of the fact that he will be getting a whole leader skill. This guy does insane damage. I've said that a lot, but this guy's doing like 90 or 100,000 DPS, and he's just doing it constantly. He does have some interesting effects of confusion and stun. He does have a very good nuke, so 400% damage nuke every 45 seconds. He basically, once he enters his transformed state, he's basically just staying in it. And when an enemy leaves his range, he gets minus 5% SPA and then gets increased range by 30. This is an incredible ability. Like, he will be basically always hitting enemies. Now, for the sheer fact that he's just not on a leader skill, he's homeless right now. Just for the fact that he's homeless, like he's going to go in sub-meta, like he's not got a leader skill currently. If he had a leader skill, and it's like Gogeta's level where he gets like 80% damage and this guy's pulling out like 140,000 DPS, and this guy is going straight to meta. But as of right now, he's staying in sub-meta. Next up, might as well go over the unique equip units while we're here. We've got Sharpshooter Precision right here. I honestly underestimated this unit when I first used them, but then when I got Ruler on them and I actually started playing with them more, this unit is exceptionally good. And she's also on the leveling team, so she does get the buff from Sun Jin Woo. Effectively, this unit just she hits the entire map. She might as well hit the entire map. Basically, even if you place her fairly inefficiently, she is always going to be hitting something, and she's doing some pretty solid DPS with it. I've lost her on the tier list. But it's kind of the same situation. Like, all these units right here are probably just better than most of their sub-meta kind of counterparts. I'm almost tempted to put them in like the mid-game tier, just because like you can get them mid-game and they'll just absolutely destroy everything. Actually, I'm gonna do that, yeah. And I'm gonna order them. I think this is roughly what the order is. Now, don't take me saying this is like, you know, these guys are better than these guys. It's just I think these units' value is more because you can get them super early, and then these guys at least have leader skills, and they do have like cohesive setups almost. But these guys are exceptionally good. Do not get it twisted. I guess actually going down that vein, Kirito can stay where he was, just because he actually does have a leader skill currently. Right, next up we are probably going to be looking at Dante and Virgil next. Okay, so we'll start with Virgil. We'll start with Virgil first. I think Virgil is like vaguely around here, probably slightly better than Selmax. And Dante is probably like the end of submeta. All right, Devil Hunter. I can't actually find Dante on this list. Like maybe he is in here somewhere. I legitimately cannot find him. But he's just imagine him like at the end of here. Virgil is pretty solid. This guy is good. Don't let anyone tell you he's not good. But the issue is like he's kind of aged out. Like his numbers are just not high enough anymore. I do find his motivation passive right here. This is like weirdly hard to hit, to, like actually obtain, and he doesn't even have it for that long. Yeah, his numbers just aren't very good. He's very good for shield breaking, and he does apply time stop, and he does actually damage enemies in time stop. It's just, yeah, he's just not very good, unfortunately. When this guy eventually, you know, a year down the line gets a unique equip, he's going to be like tearing this game apart. So, you know, for now, he's going to be like roughly around here. And since we just covered the other event units being Dante and Virgil, we might as well cover Wave Chaser and Funeral Parlor. First off, we'll go with the significantly better one, in my opinion, which is Wave Chaser. This unit is actually very solid. She does a whole lot of extra damage with the soap. She just does a bunch of damage in general. She does do extra damage with enemies against like when they're burnt. You can do some good synergy there. Get some pretty good crit rate. And she does follow-ups, and she's also doing slow, and slow is definitely a very good ability to have. She definitely just has like really high numbers, so I'm going to be putting her on probably the lower end of meta. Again, it's for the fact that like again, there's just we're not on any leader skills, but I think this character is like strong enough where it doesn't necessarily matter, but it will make her lower end of the tier list for sure. So there she is. Next up, we have a drastically, what is definitely a lot better than the other one. If we look here, Funeral Parlor over here is significantly worse than the other unit. This unit does some goofy stuff with like pyro stacks and doing like set amounts of damage. She does get like like minus 15% SPA once she's take down 15 enemies. Gets extra damage with enemies that are burnt or pyroed within her range. It's just a case of where like she's doing some interesting stuff, but it's just the numbers aren't high enough. However, since she is an event unit and you can basically get everything from her like really early on, I'm gonna put her like pretty good early game. She's probably not quite shooting, like she's not quite at sharpshooter or ulti area, my bad, but she's definitely around there for sure. Next one, I can't believe I forgot him because I doing the unique equips before. Berserker is another very good unit. This is another unit that once we get the Bleach characters, he's going to be on like a really good, possibly 2 of the leader skills, but he is on 2 leader skills right now. He's on King Sailors, and he is also on Triple Threats. This guy is very simple, right? The unique equip makes it so it's 90% elemental restrictions being ignored, and he's doing 30% slow, and then he's increasing enemy damage taken by 30%. Instead of the 15% as you saw right there. This guy he's doing around 30k DPS with Ruler, so he is definitely pretty solid if I can just find him. There you go. He's probably in suboptimal somewhere, like submeta in here somewhere. Like he's definitely good. Like don't get it twisted. Like you see him there and you think, oh god. Like I think to be honest, like yeah, if we're being the most favorable here and like you know all of his value, do I put Curious over here as well? I think I'm going to put all these guys okay mid-game because, like, they do genuinely help out mid-game, but they are, like, slightly usurped by the other characters. Like, they're not quite meta. And, like, they are competing with the sub-metas, but I think most of their value comes that they're just so easy to obtain and max out. So I think that's a good home for him right there. Would like to do the support, so let's do Prodigy Mage next. As most of you probably know, this unit is absolutely exceptional. Probably just the best support unit in the game. Just outright, giving 20% attack speed if Ancient Mage is in range. She's doing a slow stuns. She gives 5% attack speed when she's like partnered with a heal unit, or 45% crit rate on both units. She's just very good. She is just very good, so she is going to be quite high up there. I'm going to probably just push her in meta as well. We'll also place Virtual Idol. This unit is like interchangeably good with Apprentice Mage. She is doing pretty insane like 40% damage or range support once she gets into doing her Empowering Music or Enamoring Music active skill. Just very good. This ability doesn't really matter too much. She's not very expensive, but she does have it, so that's good. So she's probably also going to go in meta. The meta is getting a bit crowded. We might have to review the meta. I might have put One Piece units back in sub meta, but we'll see. This is tiered, but the support units just very difficult to actually compare them just straight up to damage units. It's a little bit of a tricky comparison. Now I don't own this unit currently right now. I'm sorry, I own like most units in the game. This is just one that I currently don't. This unit just has insane utility, and she pairs actually very well with that support unit who just pushed in Prodigy Mage. So she gets stun immunity while she's not attacking. She makes enemies take 20% extra damage, applies wind shear, which is a pretty strong damage over time. She can apply burn instead, and she has 4 different classes. I would recommend you're probably picking support here or utility. Either, you can pick either. Both these are just very strong, give incredible support. And she's doing some like pretty crazy damage. Like if we're scrolling down here, the wiki's going 218,000 DPS is like not something most units are able to do. You guys probably understand. So yeah, she's going right next to Prodigy Mage for sure. Next up, we have Ancient Shinobi Reawakened. This is another unit I don't currently own. This guy's just doing a bunch of different stuff. He's cycling between weapons, which is applying different status effects. Confusion in this game is just is very strong. And having 2 of these rotations being Confusion, along with having the attacks that apply Confusion as well. He's not currently on leader skills, which will hurt him slightly, but a good chunk of his value comes from going into his Synchro form, which is the unparalleled armor. He's doing 60% armor, hyper armor damage, buffing all units. This is a pretty good buff for minus 15% SBA, and applying either stun or confuse for 3 seconds. I'm not overly familiar with the exact DPS of this unit. I mean, this just feels like a very similar situation to like the Goku and Vegeta here. So I am gonna put them basically in the we do have Super Vegeta. Okay. Right, imagine Super Vegito in meta. That's very bizarre. Sorry about that. So yeah, we're gonna probably like these guys probably just like it doesn't really matter what these guys are doing on their own because your entire thing is because the only reason you're bringing them right is because of their synchro, so that's absolutely fine. Just put it somewhere vaguely in meta is probably about where you want to put them. Right, next up we do have Gluttonous Warlord. We are going through the units. I haven't evolved fully yet, so again, what's fun. So Gluttonous Warlord is basically creating summons when she's killing people, and she's gaining damage from it. She's also doing a percentage of damage per second with enemies in her range. She is on the Peace Leader skill, which is very good. I think she's like a fairly solid unit. She is basically just straight up damage unit, but she is also doing, well, yeah, I mean, yes, it stuns all units for 3 seconds. So she's stunning your own units, and then she gets bursts from that. I'm not entirely sure how much of a fan I am of that. There are some units that get bursts from being stunned, but it's usually only like 1 time. So you've got a Beast Gohan and Gogeta, I believe if he purifies it would give damage bursts. So that's not terrible, I suppose. You've also got like a decently chunky summon. This kind of just feels like worse Sum Jinwoo, if I am to be completely honest. This feels just like a slightly worse Sum Jinwoo. I'm going to put her like roughly there. I think that's like a fair spot. Next up we do have Shadow Knight Risen. I should have probably done this next to Sum Jinwoo because they're very well linked, because Sum Jinwoo is providing him a lot of support because he's on the leveling category as well. So he's applying stun for 2 seconds. When he hits stunned enemies, getting more damage, and then he resets and gets up to 100%. Okay. Next attack deals 100% damage, and then he goes back to building up damage. Sure. We give 60% health to all summoned units by Sum Jinwoo, and if this unit is summoned by Jinwoo, every takedown gives XP for the system. Okay, sure. Jinwoo is placed before this unit, place itself next to him for free. Whenever Jinwoo is upgraded, upgrade this unit level next to him for free. When Jinwoo performs an attack and this unit isn't attacking, follow up with 70% damage, 15-second cooldown. Yeah, I mean, this guy's solid. He is getting some, again, he's getting some pretty chunky support from Sum Jinwoo. He's vaguely in here somewhere probably. You can probably like make arguments for these guys being like higher than they are. I think actually I don't know. It's synchro units are very hard to rank because again, you're like, especially these guys, you're bringing 2 units that just aren't very good individually. So yeah, I'm gonna leave them where you are, but you can get upset with me if you would like to. That's perfectly fine. I think we're getting near the end of the units that I think are worth covering. We can speed through some of them here. We've got the Gohan N16. It's like an okay early game. They're nothing special, that's for sure. I'm not really evolved. I'm not including like unevolved units here. It's just it would be be significant blow for no reason. Big Brother Vengeance. We might as well have a look at him because he's the same as he's basically the same slot as Nurse Father, where he's in the Battle Pass, right? If I remember about this unit, he doesn't really do a whole lot. He does cleanse himself, which is cool. Horns, little guys next to him. Yeah, no, this guy's bad. He's like mid-game, but like he's at the bottom of mid-game. The issue with, like, obviously you're getting to the end of the Battle Pass, you're not early game anymore. So you're definitely like around this tier. But he's let me know, like, there's a gap between like Phantom Carrier and this guy for sure. So yeah, don't look into that too much. I think this is genuinely about the amount of units that I'd want to rank here. I'm trying to think if I'm forgetting anyone here. I think that's kind of where I'm happy. I'm happy to end it roughly around here. I think this is most of the units that is actually being used. Let me know what you guys think of the tier list in the comments down below. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one.